Hey Sam, this is Trent from RedList. I thought I'd just sign in and show you a few of the things that we discussed while I was in your office last week, just as a kind of refresher. And I think this is kind of where you wanted to most use the software. From a very simplistic form, the very kind of almost what everybody uses this for is the forms capture, which is just digitizing what you're currently doing on paper. So if I open this forms and I look at this submit forms menu, these are forms that we've created, and these are just all demo forms for our demo account. But I mean, they have, like near misses and accidents. They have location reports, haul truck pre-op. But let me just go to this pre-op inspection sheet and just show you how this works. We have the ability to create, just really easy push button forms. So if I could select, this is the afternoon shift, specify what piece of equipment, and again, we can bring this in with a QR code. Hour meter start, let's say it's 1500 hours, hour meter end. Well, I guess if we don't want to, if this is pre-operation, we'll actually do that at the end. So you can go through and put, brakes, steering, lights, camera, CIOD system, glass, mirrors. Let's say that there's a broken mirror and I fail that. This is where you could create a work order. Passenger side mirror is broken. Please replace. So I'm not a good speller. So that actually will create a work order. Horn, pass or fail. I'm going to pass everything else real quickly. Seat belts, fire extinguisher, handrails, tracks, suspension. So I'm just going to pass this real quick just to show you how this works. Sorry, this is a little bit laborious to pass it all. I'm going to pause it and pass it. Okay, so I'm down to the bottom. I pass all that. I submit. And that's saved. So if I go back to the forms and I go to the, not the submit, but the, on here I look at the view entries, and I want to look at pre-op and equipment inspection sheet, which is what we just did. And I want to maybe look at those for the past 365 days. You can see all these that have been submitted, and I just barely submitted one today on the 28th, which is the one right here created by me. And again, you could get this entire record of all the pass fails checklist, pre-operation checklist. If you want, you can print these out in a PDF, and you can actually file, if it makes you feel better, you can file these away as PDF versions as well. But it's not necessary. Obviously, we have all this captured in the cloud for safekeeping, so you can actually only print those out if needed. But anyway, this is kind of how our forms tool works. The beautiful thing about the forms tool, if I go to the create section and I'm going to pull this up, pre-operation checklist, this is actually the form authoring tool, and you can see how this works. So for instance, we have this first button is what shift are you working, and we just basically have morning, afternoon, graveyard. We could make these a required field. This one, obviously you wouldn't want to associate a work order with it, but like for instance, the one that we did, if the lights or the backup camera was not working, if I go to here, you can see that it's required and it's associated to a piece of equipment that we've already selected. And if there's a failure, if it's failed, then there's a work order. So if I click on this work order logic, it says there's kind of an always or when or never, but what they have selected here is when. Question 8, which is the one that we're on right now, question 8, has a failure, then you can actually specify to create a new work order, require a description. You can specify how long it takes. If it's really important, you leave it at 0. That's due today. If it's something that could be done in the next week, you can put 7 days. You can put the employee that's responsible. So let's just say that I'm going to have our maintenance manager's Tal Wagstaff do it, and you could even assign whoever the lead is, and then even import put how important this is. We have some business rules that allow you to put that, how important that is. So that's how the authoring toolkit works. Again, the forms toolkit interplays with our reliability suite, which will create a work order. So that's the genius of our software, is all these forms for pre-operation can then be used to generate a work order. So from here, I'm going to go to quick links, because of what I've done is I've actually created just I grabbed one of your cement RediMix plants, just to kind of show what it might look like. So here I brought in one of your RediMix plants, and what I've done is have in the builder mode, I actually have like points of inspection points that may need require inspection. So in this is the builder view. When I go to the live view, you can see that 2 of these maintenance points are actually overdue for maintenance. And I've just brought in some kind of bogus information just to kind of show you how that works. But if I click on this, it'll bring up maybe a piece of equipment or a components. Like in this case, it's an electric motor. And again, I know this doesn't match your plant specifically, but this is a warm and agitator. If I click on any one of those points, it'll actually bring in more detail about this piece of equipment and what may need to be done. So the lower bearings, for instance, need to be worked on, or maybe have a grease point. So if I look at the current backlog, you can see that this is my warm and agitator, gearbox, grease, upper bearings, 10 pumps, and it specifies what sort of grease to use, and use the grease gun. So you can see that all these are kind of a picture within a picture. You can actually drill down into what various components might need to have maintenance done to it. So hopefully that gives you kind of a good idea and a background of how we work. I did the RediMix plant, but obviously the vehicles we can do as well that need to have maintenance done as well. So just a great overview of how our software works and how it might look in working with one of your facilities. Let me know if you have any questions, and look forward to working with you and on the next steps. Talk to you soon.